All of his victims were young, vulnerable black women who lived in South Los Angeles and most struggled with drug addiction. In the 1980s, an unknown killer was leaving a wake of bodies in neighborhoods, in alleyways, hidden under garbage and debris. All of his victims were sexually assaulted, then shot at close range with a .24 caliber pistol, strangled, or both. The city called him the Grimm Sleeper, and it took 23 years before he was identified and captured. Investigators believe that he murdered at least 6 more women, in addition to the 10 women he was convicted of murdering in 2011. Welcome back to Sunday Solves, where I bring you a case that proves even the passage of time won't stop justice. Before we dig into who he was, I want to first acknowledge his victims and their deaths. This will also quickly establish the clear pattern investigators were able to use to connect these cases. Deborah Jackson, 29, was a cocktail waitress who left her friend's house August 10, 1985 in Linwood and went to take the bus back home to her apartment in South Central Los Angeles. Her body would be discovered with 3 gunshots to the chest 4 days later. Henrietta Wright, 35, was found deceased August 12, 1986 in a South Los Angeles alley. She was shot twice in the chest and found barefoot, wrapped in a blanket and covered with a mattress. Barbara Ware, 23, was found deceased January 10, 1987. Her body was found under a pile of trash in an alley and she had been shot once in the chest. Bernita Sparks, 26, told her mother April 15, 1987 that she needed to go to the store to get cigarettes, but never returned. She was found the following day in a trash bin covered in garbage. She had been beaten, strangled, and shot in the chest. Mary Lowe, 26, was last seen on Halloween night, 1987. She told her mother she was going to a party, and her body would be found the following day in an alley. She had been shot once in the chest. Latricia Jefferson, 22, was found January 30th, 1988, shot in the chest and left in the alley. Alicia Alexander, 18, asked her father whether he needed anything from the liquor store on September 11th, 1988, and her body would be found 4 days later in an alley. Police say she had been sexually assaulted and shot in the chest. Princess Bertha Mew, 15, disappeared December 21st, 2001. They would find her remains March 19th, 2002. She was found in an alley. She had been strangled and beaten, and the DNA on her body matched the DNA left on the bodies of other victims. This was the first body with DNA matching the other victims in over 13 years. Valerie McCovery, 35's remains were found in an alley on July 11, 2003. She had been sexually assaulted and strangled. They initially suspected her boyfriend until the DNA on her body was found to match other victims. Janicia Peterson, 25's remains were found January 1, 2007. She had been shot in the back and placed in a garbage bag. Anishria Washington was the only known survivor of the Grimm Sleeper. She was sexually assaulted and shot November 1988 and managed to escape. Who was the Grimm Sleeper, and how was he finally caught? His name was Lonnie Franklin, and he was a married former Army corporal who also worked as a Los Angeles City trash collector and a